If you're looking for the answers, I still don't have them. But what I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people who mislead, misinform, and misrepresent the sports card industry. So if you don't do that, I'll let it go. If you do, I'm going to talk about you. Guys, welcome to another episode of the Sports Card Investigator. My name is Andy. I am so happy for you guys to be here today. Before we start, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. I very much appreciate it. So, here comes a controversial episode of the Sports Card Investigator. So word broke recently that the National is a go, and that is terrific news, and everyone has been cooped up for over a year. This pandemic, God willing, is behind us. We're getting back to a sense of normalcy, and since it was announced that the National is a go, I have been asked several times by several people if I am going to go, and it's a hard pass. I know. I mean, if it was up to me, I would love to go and meet everybody, but I just look at it as a business proposition. Unless you're flush with cash, meaning that you just have money that you can afford to lose, maybe you're looking for a specific card, but even with that, with the uncertainty of the market, it's going to be hard to pull a trigger on a card. I mean, you could buy a card at the show and it could lose value by the time you get home. But if you're in it for the long run, so be it. If you're going there to socialize, network, or produce content, if not, then it's just not worth it for me. It doesn't pass the WIFM test. You guys know what the WIFM test is? WIFM? What's in it for me? I know that sounds self-serving, but it's got to improve my bottom line. And just because we haven't been able to do something for a while doesn't mean that since we are, it somehow means that it's worth it. Just my train of thought, and I know everyone will make their own decision. Free will, as I like to say. And I just didn't take this lightly, this decision on not going. I've watched countless videos from the Dallas show, and although I know the National can be totally different, I have to believe that a lot of the same things are going on. And I took some major takeaways from those videos because I watched everything. Dealers are not budging on their prices. In fact, they're not even coming close to comps. I was watching video after video comparing prices, and then I was looking at the eBay comps, and they weren't even close. Some of the prices were 40 to 50% more than eBay. And the reasoning that I heard from these dealers was that people don't understand eBay comps, and that eBay comps are not a true barometer on what the cost of the cards actually are. Now look, we all know we have to pay taxes and eBay fees, but if I'm paying cash, I want a deal that reflects that I'm paying cash, or it's just not worth my time. And the scary thing on the videos that I watched, deals that were actually made, I saw the cards, and those cards have dropped in price since they were purchased, which is another reason it may not be the best time to buy if you're in it like I am, buying cards to resell, or buying cards for resale. I just don't know if we've bottomed out yet. And that reminds me, can I give you guys some advice? And I will be the first one to admit that this advice that I'm going to give you, it's worth what you pay for it. Nothing. And it's not for everyone. Maybe more for those of you guys that are new, but here it is. So take it or leave it. I watched some videos from the Dallas card show as well as some other shows, and the influencer or the creator that would go to the dealer, look at the card case, most of the times the cards had a sticker price, which in all reality should be dismissed out of hand. Unless, of course, that price is lower than you're willing to pay, then by all means, grab it, right? But let's say you're looking at a Trae Young Silver Prism card, and you find one in the case and it's marked $2,400. And you ask the dealer, which I've seen over and over again, do you have any room on this card, or how low can you go? Wrong. That is not the way to approach a deal. It's a great or nice conversation starter, but it's a horrible way to negotiate. It also tells the dealer a couple things. One, you don't know the comps, or you're not opposed to going higher than the comps. Either right or wrong, he thinks he now has a fish on the hook. Why? Because let's say he says, I can go down to 2,000. Wow, that's a terrific deal. I'll take it. Not really. Because if you knew the comps, you would know going in that that's a $1,700 card. Now, why is that important? That is why it's important to target cards that you know of and you know the price prior to you going in. And you have to stick with that price. It's crucial, especially in today's market. And do not hesitate to walk away. I'm not saying I'm perfect or I'm the best deal maker in the world, but how I would approach that same deal, I would go to the dealer, tell him you're interested in a silver Trae Young card, and tell him you'll pay $1,600 cash. That's my number. You have to have a drop dead price and go from there. And like I just mentioned, don't be afraid to walk away. Just because a dealer won't budge doesn't mean that he's not going, that does not mean that he's giving you his bottom line great deal. But there's a bigger issue, and I mentioned it before. With the instability of the market, there's no way to know if that's ultimately a good price or not. That's another reason why I'm going to take a pass on this show. I've attended many shows in the past, many conventions. And I'll tell you, when you get on the floor, especially if it's your first time or second time, you are excited, you are hyped up, and it's that, what is it, the kids say, FOMO, fear of missing out. Plus, if you're like me, coming from Philadelphia area, you've paid airfare, hotel, so I can't go empty-handed. I can't go home empty-handed after I had all this outlay. See where I'm going? Which brings me up to another point. Before I step on that showroom floor, I'm losing money. For me, that's a big part of it. Airfare, hotel, meals, incidentals. I'm looking at $1,000 minimum to dig out of before I start my stuff at the show. So now I have to recoup that money with deals. And I just don't think it's a gamble I'm willing to take. Not in this time that we're in the hobby. And look, I know there's a lot of content creators and people there just going to network, and I'm not interested in making content at a card show. Walking around the convention floor, looking at the same overpriced cards with inaudible audio, there's plenty of that going on, and that's just not for me. I don't think that's productive for you guys. And I know we all won't agree on this, and that's cool. And I know a lot of friends and people who are going to this show, and that's terrific. I mean, that's fine. Hopefully, we can meet up at a show in the future. I'll be stopping by the Philly show. That's the weekend of June 13th, and it's going to cost me $10. Right? I got a ticket. I drive there. If I find deals, great. If not, I can absorb the $10, but I'm not willing to absorb 100 times that. And if you see me there, please stop by and say hello. I would love that. And again, if you're going to the National Great, you're going to have a terrific time. Let me know the deals you make, and everyone has to make their decisions, right? Again, free will. It just has to make fiscal sense for me, and it just doesn't make the grade. Speaking of grades, see what I did there? While I was putting this video together, the news broke that Beckett was suspending their grading operation, except for I think their premium. Not totally unexpected, and as predicted, every content provider has put out content to give their opinion. So check it out. Because I'm Carlos did a really, really good roundup on it. So look at his video if you want to get all the ins and outs. I did read, however, that PSA and Beckett will be on site at the National, so if you attend the show and you bring cards to grade, you can pay $1,300 to grade your cards. $1,300? No way. Well, that's how much I would have to pay, because I would add up the cost of the trip plus the cost of each grade, and with that, it's going to be pretty pricey. So, but certain cards that people are going to bring are going to be well worth it. But this whole thing got me thinking about the whole grading situation and what it's developed into. Started thinking about an analogy that would best reflect what's going on. So I love pizza and I love analogies. So why not a pizza analogy to illustrate? So let's say you have your favorite pizza parlor, right? Mine's Charlie's Pizzeria on the Boulevard. It's the best. I've been going there since I was a kid. It's been actually there since 1943. I'm not that old, but it's been there since 1943. It's the best sauce, the best crust. It's just the right amount of cheese. I can't even explain it. It's like a bite of heaven. It's just terrific. And it's kind of like what you guys would call an upside down. The sauce is on the top, but anyway, it's to die for. But it's the best pizza place in town. So it's Saturday night, and I call over, and to my utter horror, dismay, the person who answers the phone says, "Hey, Andy, sorry, we can't do your order tonight. We just have too many orders, and we just can't keep up." Oh, Jesus. Now, I'm bummed because that's the best pizza place known to man. But all is not lost because I do have a standby. It's not even close to what Charlie's is, but it's acceptable if I have to go to another pizza place. So I head over to the pizza place, and I get there, and oh my God, the line's down the street, and the place closes in 10 minutes. What am I going to do? It's a nightmare. At this point, my next option is to settle. I look on my phone, I opened up the Yelp app, and there's a pizza place that I find with 2.5 stars. It's 20 minutes away. It's unproven. It's kind of new. Oh my God, I'm looking at some reviews. They're sketchy at best. So instead of settling for one of these unknown, untried, inconsistent, brand new places, I think outside of the box and I grab a cheesesteak. Why settle for bad pizza when you can have great cheesesteak? There are just better options out there. And in the long run, I'm better off having a great cheesesteak than a crappy pizza. I hope you guys get what I'm going with that. So that's it for this episode. Quick episode. Just wanted to get it out there. I appreciate the continued support. A lot of people were asking me if I was going to go to the Nationals. This year it's a hard pass. Next year, who knows? So until next time, take care.